okay, I had to make a video on the Tesla Supercharger debacle and the secret reasons why Elon actually did this. I think it's already a little older. It's, I think, 2 weeks since Elon laid off these 500 Supercharger people from Tesla, and there was a big screaming match on the mainstream media and CNBC and all these places that Tesla is going down. And when I thought about it more and put myself into the shoes of Elon and Tesla and understood why this exactly happened, I realized this is not just one event I want to comment on. I think it gives us a very deep insight into the nature and thinking of Elon versus mainstream media, fake news people, and Wall Street analysts. That's why it's worth taking our time here to look into this. So what happened? Well, Tesla and Elon specifically fired 500 people from the Supercharger team. In other words, he fired the entire team. So now they're all gone. And that sparked a bunch of theories that Tesla has to save money. They're going bankrupt again. They can't afford it. And there's this whole how are they called? The Tesla conspiracy people, that the books are cooked, so they don't have money anymore. It's a sign of a declining company because the superchargers are so important. And of course, now Elon hired a bunch of them back. And now everyone's saying, oh, is taking drugs, chaotic, erratic leadership. Elon is the worst. It's all bad. Right? That's kind of the narrative around the supercharger. Most people on Wall Street actually think it's a bad thing, even if they don't go that far. But they say it's erratic. He fires them all, then he hires them back. He has no clue. He has no plan. Okay. I want to take the time to go into what really happened here. What is actually happening in Elon's brain and in Tesla? And once you get it, it will make a ton of sense. And it actually will shed some light on some very interesting things. Put yourself in Elon's shoes and know what Elon knows. And then it becomes all very clear. And I will go through a bunch of points. Number one, Tesla was getting sclerotic, right? Elon coming back to Tesla, let me explain why I'm saying coming back, saw that and freaked out. Elon, the critics are actually right. In one respect, Ross Gerber, for example, he was complaining that Elon was not paying attention. He was with X and everything. And I think Ross, even though he's wrong on some other stuff, but in this respect, he's right. Elon wasn't really there to pay enough attention to Tesla. And he was very involved with X, which I think is a very good thing. But he was involved with X, turned the whole thing around, make it probably the most successful social media platform soon. X is absolutely killing it. And beacon of freedom of speech, but that took a lot of Elon's attention away. And when Elon is out, right, then every organization has a tendency to become sclerotic. What do I mean with this? Mission creep. Every organization gravitates towards becoming GM over time, General Motors. If there's no disruptive first principle leader on top that stops that sclerosis. So teams grow, inefficiency grows, people just turn into little bureaucrats. Oh, we need to build a new supercharger. Let's hire just more people and more people who do little negotiations here and there. And so for 2 years, this has been building. So now put yourself into the shoes of Elon. You come really back into Tesla. Now he's all in because he sees, okay, FSD is going to happen this year. It's crazy. We are transitioning this whole company from a car company into a robo-taxi company. Now he's all in. And of course, the first thing you do is create efficiencies. You come in and see, what the hell is this? Why do we have 500 people in a supercharger team? That's no department on earth should have 500 people, number one. And then he goes into this discussion with this lady who led the supercharger team who got fired. And he's like, these people have no clue what they're doing. This is not Tesla material. They are wasting our time. They're wasting our resources. So he gets a little mad, starts to argue. He wants to get them all out. Or he wants to reduce it. He gets stupid proposals, right? Oh, we can cut it by 1%, the team, but then we lose a lot of efficiency. And of course, in Elon's brain, it's like, this is stupid. If we cut 80% of people, we could still operate at 80% of efficiency, just as a basic rule of life, of management. And then he got too much and fired them all. I think it makes complete sense in my mind. That's how it works. And Elon even said before, it's better to fire everyone and hire a few people back as a general rule in management. And he's right. You want disruption, reorganization to get all the fat out. Okay, that's the first thing. First thing you have to understand. This is sclerosis at its best. Elon comes back and cleans house. It makes complete sense. But much more important, what's coming next. Superchargers, number two. Superchargers are an annoying business with decreasing margin over time. So superchargers are not Tesla's core business. They were always just facilitating the expansion of EVs. Because in the beginning, when you launched Tesla and Teslas, and you have to buy Teslas, there are no chargers, you're toast. Tesla had to step forward and build superchargers all over the place so people can actually charge their Teslas and buy them. But this is not a great business to be in. It's facilitating Tesla sales and EV sales in general, but it's not a business you want to be in because every single supercharger needs to be negotiated with some super annoying people on the ground, with some government people. You don't want to be in this business. It's stupid. It's a stupid, annoying business, low tech. You want to build superchargers and manufacture them, but you don't want to negotiate every single site and maintain it. So the only reason to do it was to support Tesla's growth. And this business in itself is a decreasing margin business. Now, number three, adding to this, Tesla Superchargers had a mission. They accomplished this mission and completely won already. The mission is completed. They won. Let me explain what the mission is. The mission was to establish a standard of supercharging across America and across the world, and to actually get other people to start building these things out and defeat CCS, the competing thing, and make NACS, Tesla's standard, the standard. Now, what happened last year is all the OEMs fell in line. Everyone is now accepting NAS and shifts their car manufacturing into a Tesla standard. And people like BP, start saying they are investing $1 billion by 2030 into building all the BP stations into superchargers or building more superchargers themselves on Tesla's standard. So Tesla also struck a deal with BP Pulse, by the way, to deliver $100 million worth of supercharger hardware to BP so they can build out their stuff. In other words, you're seeing what I just mentioned. Tesla wants to get out of the supercharger business because they were never really in it. They wanted superchargers to be built. They don't want to build them. They want them to be built. And if there's no one to do that, they have to do it. But now there's BP and many others starting to literally buy Tesla superchargers from Tesla and building these things. So you get the best of both worlds. Get the hell out of this business and let them continue it. And then finally, number four, and most importantly, think about Tesla, what's happening right now. FSD is coming. Tesla is transitioning from an EV sales company. They're selling cars right now. They're making 5,000 to 10,000 margin on each car they're selling. They're moving the whole company into FSD. They're moving, it's like Netflix, right? They are selling DVDs or renting DVDs out right now. You can get a little DVD, a Model 3. Tesla makes 5,000 to 10,000. But the future is streaming. Netflix streaming. The future is Tesla becoming a robotaxi and cybercab fleet company. They're going to manufacturing all these cars. They're not going to sell them. They're going to operate themselves. They're going to make $30,000 to $40,000 per car now in margin over the lifetime. And what does it all mean for supercharging? Think about it. First principle thinking. What is the future of supercharging for Tesla? Number one, these robotaxi fleets will start and be primarily in large metropolitan areas. These large metropolitan areas have the most riders and make the most money. These large metropolitan areas are already super saturated with supercharging stations. You don't need to build more of the same. Number two, these new supercharging stations for the robo fleet of Tesla will be completely different. There will be much fewer of them. They will be much bigger. They will be fully serviced. They will also include cleaning services for the robotaxis, interior, exterior cleaning service, and repair services. There will be hubs where all the robotaxis come home to feed and then be sent out again to feed and being repaired. So this is not a supercharger. These will be these new warehouses or whatever where all the little robotaxis and cybercabs come and then you fix them and charge them. That's a completely different thing you need to build. And it's a completely different distribution curve over the geographic areas. It's totally different. And that's what you have to focus on in 2026, roughly. When robotaxis get to real massive multi-million scale is in 2026 and 27. So Wall Street analysts are completely wrong on the whole timeline. It's happening end of this year. Government approvals are no problem, by the way. It's a total misconception. Governments will approve this so quickly you have no idea. They probably already approved it internally with Tesla. So they will be deployed all over the place In 2025, it will really start to happen. In 2026, they will reach real scale. In 2027, it's going to be game over. And so Tesla already has to think about, what do we do now? We have to build these things out. That's not the supercharger team. It's a totally different business. And so what's the smartest thing to do with all of that? Well, the best strategy for superchargers is keep growing them, plug the white spaces on the map. You want to not totally get out of the supercharger business as of 2024. Keep the pressure on BP and these other people, but slowly fade it out, right? Grow a little slower, let BP take over this stuff, the annoying long tail, while you're preparing yourself for the FSD world and the chargers and service stations you need there. Okay, guess what? What I just said, all these things. That's exactly what Elon does. Elon says, fire them all, hire back 10 or 20%. With 20% of the supercharger team, you can still do 80% of what the old team did. But we are scaling down cautiously, and we are preparing for these warehouses or service stations. That's my prediction. That explains what's really going on here. Obviously, that's not bearish. It's super bullish. And it shows you that they're thinking ahead and already preparing for the next giant phase of Tesla, which is operating and building and servicing the robo fleet. See you next time.